What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the -6 challenge. So, for those of you that have been following along, you know my goal is to get to a +6 handicap and to turn professional. Now, in order to get to that level of skill, obviously my training has to be in accordance to that goal. And one of the things I've been trying to figure out is a way to create some sort of scoring metric and in my practice to help translate that into more real-time game time scenarios to get me there. What I've done is I've put together a challenge for myself that I'm gonna be filming, and there is a course log right after this message, so you guys get to see the first episode right now. I've basically devised a 12-hole loop at my home course that has 6 par 4s, 5 par 3s, and 1 par 5. And so it's hole 1 to hole 12. And my goal is to shoot 6 under on this 12-hole loop. Now, it is an executive course. Things are a little bit shorter. There are some tough holes. There are some easy holes. But the point of all this is that through that ebb and flow of both easy and hard holes, I have to hit many different shots, and they're all shots that a +6 handicap should be able to handle. So theoretically, if I can tackle all of these shots, shooting 6 under through 12 should be very achievable. That's the point of this series, is to create something where I can start battle testing my stuff in a game time scenario, show you guys, the updates and where I'm making mistakes and also where I'm improving, and then also get some valuable data from that to then inform my practice. So let's kick it off here. This is episode 1 of the -6 challenge. Here we go.
All right, guys, here we go. Episode 1, hole 1 of the -6 challenge. We've got a par 3 here at Cultus Lake Golf Club. This par 3 is always a little tricky. You got to hit a big high cut in there, and I just left it a little bit left. This left us with our gap wedge and just wanted to bring it in low to check it up against the hill, which we did kind of exactly that. And it left us with a pretty simple putt to kind of get up and down for par. And this just didn't break the way I thought. And so as a result, we are 1 over through 1. Hole number 2, short par 3, taking gap wedge again. And this is going to be just a little bit left. Pin was tucked and just thought I could really put a good swing on it. It was a decent swing, just left. But this chip was amazing. Had a little nip on it too. Left us with an easy up and down for par. Now, hole number 3, this is always a tough hole. You got to basically hit a big high cut to this back pin whenever it's there. And it's a little dicey. It's just a tough shot to commit to, and one that I think, would be indicative of a +6 type player should be able to tackle this shot. So that was great. Just unfortunately missed the putt and wasn't able to capitalize and kind of bring the score down, but we're happy to get out of here with a par. Next hole, this was a wicked shot. This is hole number 4, just a low bullet. Hole number 4 here is arguably the tightest par 4 in all of Canada. It's 28 yards wide in the fairway, and so if we can make a good score on this hole and start making birdies here, that would be indicative of progress and something, a player of a +6 caliber should be able to do. Left us with this putt here. Just swung a little bit. This green is also a little dicey when the pin's over there, so that can be tricky. Hole number 5, we've got a big smoking driver, which is just wonderful. Love to see that here. You want to be able to play this hole aggressively because this is a pretty big green, so it's very receptive, and unfortunately just didn't drive this in as low or as aggressively as I wanted. And this putt here, as you can see, just misses at the very end. So we're still 1 over through 5. Now, 6th hole, par 5. This is where you really want to get some strokes back and just hook this left. So now we got to punch out. Again, this is a tough one because this is a hole where you really want to take advantage. And now we're just trying to get up and down for par. This shot here was honestly good contact. It just didn't have enough juice to make it all the way. We end up in the front bunker. And this is actually a pretty good bunker shot. Pulled it a bit left. It had some great spin on it though, so we were able to get it, back a bit off the hill. And we had this to clean up our par, and we don't. So now we are 2 over through 6. Great start. Love to see it. This hole, par 3, very short, but I've seen many a double made here. And so this works on your precision wedge game. You have the trees overhanging. Definitely not an easy hole to get up and down. Something you're trying to get, strokes back, but at the same time, you want to escape with no damage. Got out of here with a par. We're still 2 over. Not ideal, but we're moving on. Next hole is the short par 3/8, and this was a great shot. Very excited about this. Committed to that wedge. Despite the fact that we're battling a little bit, we're getting up and down. That's a good birdie. Hole number 9 here This is one where, again, short par 4, we should be able to be making birdie here to capitalize and get to that -6 target score. And we pull it left into the trees, which is not ideal. So now we got to get out of the trees and hopefully get up and down for birdie here. But as we're about to make our birdie putt, somebody like lit a firecracker or something in the backswing, and that was just absolute madness. So I don't know what was going on. But anyway, we clean up our par, we move on. So that puts us at +1 through 9. Again, not ideal. So now we just trying to, put the pedal down and see if we can finish with a good score, because we're not going to get to -6 today. This is hole number 10 and short par 4 again. If you could take it over the trees, it gives you a really good look at eagle or birdie most of the time. And this is another one we should be birdieing a lot. So to get to that, -6 target score, this is something that a +6 handicap should be able to tackle every single time. And this is where I think it's a really good test, right? Now, left our eagle putt short, and this was just a slidey one, and it just didn't slide enough at the end. So we are still 1 over through 10. This was wicked, though. Unreal little driver stinger. It was so dark I could barely see at this point. This was great. The fog had rolled in. Just chipped a little lob wedge in here. Didn't carry it as far deep as I wanted, but that's fine. We leave ourselves a good putt, and this was a good putt. Just snaked a little bit at the end, but I'm fine with it. And that leaves us +1 going into the final hole. Really just trying to see if we can clean this up and at least get to level par. That would be ideal. And this wedge here from 103 was probably my favorite shot of the day. This just stuck it perfectly. Good distance control, considering it was dark and I couldn't see a thing. We dropped the putt. That puts us at even. So not a bad start. Obviously, as you guys can see, left plenty of shots out there. And I think if I clean all that up and get that going, this is where I think, this challenge is going to be really indicative of me being able to get to that +6 handicap caliber of player. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned. Plenty more coming, and I'll catch you in the next one.